back everyone to Cindy's Library. This is Cindy, and today I am going to talk about what I have read for the first half of September. So let's get to it. First of all, I finished reading all of the Jungle Book, first and second parts. Oh, so good. So good. Whatever else one might say about Rudyard Kipling, he knows how to tell a story for sure. I still have to say one of my favorites is probably Rikki Tikki Tavi, but there's a lot in here and not just stories about Mowgli that are definitely worth the read. Yes, I had to keep going and read the next volume in the case files of Henry Davenport. This potion is the bomb. This would be because this case it involves a potion. So the fair queen of the land where Jamie and Henry live has made an agreement to help a kind of neighboring land over the sea that has more of the ingredients needed to make a potion to fight tuberculosis. Only one problem. One person has been murdered and another injured by a bomb. Of course, the queen, among others, are anxious to figure out what happened and to get the potion site up and running again so they can go finally full blast on getting this important potion out to everyone. So naturally, she asked Henry and Jamie to investigate. And things go on from there. William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. This has some excellent speeches in it again. I would almost classify it as a history, if ancient history, except it says the tragedy of Julius Caesar. And it really is tragic because Caesar really had a lot of greatness in him, in real life and in this play. And yet, of course, the Ides of March came. And Caesar's ambition was his undoing, at least according to this play. Interesting look at human nature for sure. I read The Day the World Came to Town, 9/11 in Gander, Newfoundland by Jim DeFede. Some of you may have seen the Broadway musical Carry Me Home, but this is what it is based on. And this is non-fiction. This is created by a journalist talking to tons of the people involved, people in Gander, people on the plains. So basically what happened is 9/11 happens. The United States closes its airspace. That means there are a ton of planes up in the sky that need a place to land now, and a place to land that is not in the United States. Gander, Newfoundland actually, historically, from an aviation point of view, has long been known as a plane stop because it was a good place for refueling in the middle between continents. Of course, with jets, it's come into disuse, but on this particular day, it still had long functioning runways, and so a number of planes got diverted into Gander, Newfoundland. And I don't think the number of passengers, etc., quite equaled the population. They were pretty close, and yet Gander and the surrounding communities opened up their arms to all of these stranded passengers. I thought it was an appropriate thing to read on this anniversary month to remember that while the worst can happen, sometimes the best, at least of human nature, can happen too. I also read The Gospel at 3,000 Feet by Dieter F. Uchtdorf. This is another one that seems to be compiled indirectly, if not directly, from a lot of his previous conference talks and devotionals and such. Now, former President, current Elder Uchtdorf, professionally, he was actually a fighter jet pilot, and then he was a commercial jet pilot, and even rose up the ranks to be in charge of whole fleets of jets and airplanes. And so he is traditionally known for giving a lot of airplane stories and examples in his talks. And it's great. He's widely loved among those who know for that. So, and it's all very inspirational. He definitely has a way of both speaking and writing, which I love. So glad to read that. Next, Measure for Measure by William Shakespeare. Yep, another one for shaketember. I think I have now read, well, at the point of the 15th of September, I had read 4 out of the 5 which I was planning to read, which is 5 out of the 6 Shakespeare plays that in some way are touched on this year for shaketember. The reason why I did that is because most of them I had never read before. Julius Caesar was an exception, but I read that way back in high school, so it's been way too long. Measure for Measure I had never read, and it's kind of interesting. You have this duke over this city, and his chief counselor is a guy named Angelo, who is known for being the most upright of people. So, of course, everyone thinks he must be the perfect person to put in charge, since the Duke announces he is going away to visit Rome or some such thing. Anyway, that happens, and well, Angelo is extremely severe. Now, you can't exactly say, at least at the beginning part, that he does anything that's not on the law books. But some of the laws he's trying to enforce have not been enforced for decades, if not longer, giving maximum penalties. And in particular, let's see, you have Claudio. He is betrothed to Juliet. They've basically done everything but marry. and Julia is found with child. And so the penalty for that is death. And so uh, a friend of Claudio's goes to his sister Isabel, who wants to be a nun, but hasn't taken final vows or anything like that yet. So friend begs Isabella to go to Angelo and beg him not to kill her brother. And, well, let's just say things go on from there. Let's see, I also read Goblin Feet by Christina Rossetti, which I absolutely loved. So amazing. And it makes me want to read more by Christina Rossetti too. Thankfully, I have this whole book to eventually get through. Goblin Feet, though, I guess you could call it a narrative poem since it happens to be a story about two girls, sisters in fact. And all starts well, except that there are goblins selling their wares of the most amazing fruit. And, well, let's just say things go on from there. Oh, let us see here. Anything I missed? Ah, yes. I read Sarah Morris Remembers by D.E. Stevenson. In some ways, these are becoming a little repetitive. Family saga, sometimes they focus more on one person than others. Like this one focuses more on Sarah. Her growing up years through the middle of World War II, which of course affects her and her family in different ways. This one, though, is particularly interesting because there's a point where Sarah takes over her own education, and it is a wonderful thing. I also read Home from the Sea by Mercedes Lackey. I forget which fairy tale this, or fairy tales, this one's supposed to be about. But we have two stories. We have a young lady whose name I forget, living in Wales, more on the outskirts of town, away from everyone. She's never quite known why this is, what happened to her mother or brother, or why her father likes them to keep to themselves. She senses there's something behind it all. But let's just say she finds out exactly what's behind it all on her 18th birthday. Meantime, in London, Nan and Sarah, they have graduated from school, and both as far as regular education goes and being trained in the more psychical world, they are ready to be full adults. They've gone and visited Sarah's parents in Africa, which is great. Now it's time to settle down, get a job, and be adults, and they don't know what to do. I mean, they try teaching at school, but that doesn't go so well. Don't want to be secretaries or nurses or governesses. And of course, the opportunities for women were rather limited at this time. Fortunately, Lord Aldercroft, the Lion of London and head of the White Lodge of Magic, he's had a report of a new water master over in Wales. And so decides to send Sarah and Nan and pay for all expenses and also pay for their travel, which sounds great. And the reason why he wants to send them is because women are non-threatening. They aren't actually magicians. They're psychics. So they should be less threatening that way too. Uh, they have a lot of curiosity and are good at digging out things. So sounds like the best people to send for this job. Of course, once they get there, they learn of some complications. Which is the way of things, is it not? Always complications. But that's what makes a good story, isn't it? Anyway, that is what I have read the first half of September. So, Victober announcement will be coming soon, along with a few channel changes, but we will wait till next time to do that. So, how's your reading gone for the first half of September? Are you doing shaketember or shorty September or anything like that? Or are you just reading wonderful things that you have enjoyed? I'd love to hear all about that in the comment section if you would like to share. Thank you so much for stopping by. I truly do appreciate it. So until next time, I hope we all stay safe and healthy. And as always, happy reading.